an American EverAfter presentation. GMO. Is that a subject you know? Do you know GMO? I know GMO. Do your kids know about GMO? Do you give your kids GMO? These are questions that you need to ask yourself. If you don't already know, this is getting a little bit redundant about GMO. This is something that's pretty important, something we need to talk about. Again, this is something that we all are being subject to. Well, at least us here in America. GMO is genetically modified. What do you mean genetically modified? Well, genetically modified means they went in there and tweaked the DNA, messed around with it, and warped it. You ever heard the term Frankenfoods? Or how about the GMO labeling? People are talking about GMO labeling. Are these subjects that you're familiar with? If you're not, you should get yourself familiar with them. You live here, you live in this country, you live in America. We're the only country that allows genetically modified foods. All other countries across the nation, I think it's other than the UK right now, has banned genetically modified foods. Does that say anything, guys? Does that say anything to you? No GMOs. China just had a huge crop of corn that was shipped over to China. They rejected it. They didn't want it. It was genetically modified. What about that poor farmer that was probably forced to grow that genetically modified crop? Originally, from my research, guys, I found out that genetically modified means, well, the intentions, let's say the good intentions that their intentions were, or maybe they even went into this without even knowing, but they were trying to change the foods to grow in climates that were not habitable to the normal plant or species. Let's say, for example, the species that was growing in a wet climate could grow in a climate that was dry. So they could genetically tweak the plant to grow in a different climate. Okay? Well, that sounds good, but I don't think they did enough research, because actually they've done research now and shown that genetically modified foods cause cancer in studies that were done. This is a studies, I'm not sure if this is done here in the U.S. Or overseas, but it showed that male cancer, the males would get cancer in their testicles, females would get breast cancer, and then would go fertile after a second generation, and then by a third generation they would die off. So again, this stuff is really bad. Genetically modified is something that has been recently in the news. I think Seattle, Washington had a chance to vote on labeling whether it was genetically modified or not, and didn't pass it. Shame on you, Seattle, for not. I thought you guys were supposed to be a big old liberal city up there. What the hell's wrong with you guys? You guys getting sprayed over there or something? Maybe you've been eating too much GMO, too much crap. It's too big of a city and you guys don't have access to good, clean foods. You must be eating a bunch of that GMO at your liquor store, getting all that. Look, it's in everything, guys. They did I saw information on YouTube videos showing that they did brought this food back that was supposed to be labeled non-GMO. Guys, this stuff had GMO in it still. So this is like Captain Crunch or something. You can't get away with the Crunch because the Crunch always gives you away. I don't know. This is crazy. I'm not sure what's going on here. It's in the food. It's in everything. Genetically modified corn. Think about that. Corn is in just about everything we use now. It's even in our vehicles that we drive. The ethanol corn base, man. This is huge. There's farmers that are being sued for their crops that are being pollinated by genetically modified crops, and then these farmers are being sued. look, this is ripping the heart out of the middle of our country. You know, the middle of our country is the biggest portion of our farming industry. Not that people on the West Coast and East Coast don't use, you know, and don't farm, but guys, Fukushima, let's not eat anything off the coast right now. You know, think about those animals and stuff that's grown on that. If those things stick to those, boy, it's getting to where you can't eat just about anything now. This is something we need to wake up to. Again, guys, genetically modified foods. Another study showed that genetically modified foods continue to grow in your gut even after you continue to stop eating those. Is that crazy? I mean, they're talking about like frankenfoods. That must be what they're talking about, guys. This is unreal. I mean, we're feeding this stuff to our kids. We're eating it. And you guys, let's put a link together here. I mean, I like to do math. I don't ever mean to insult people, but I just try to make sure that people understand that some of these things are just elementary, and it's just common sense that should be able to put these things together. You know, here's what I'm going towards here. The United States has the highest problem of diseases across the board. And I could go on with the list of kidney disease and liver disease, cancers, all kinds of different deficiencies and stuff. Look, guys, we're the only country, again, that has, how about obesity in America, guys? How about that? You know, first effect of thyroid, having a problem with your thyroid, is gaining weight around your midsection. You got a little weight around your midsection right now? Maybe you've been eating a little bit of that GMO. Maybe your thyroid's being affected too, you know. Guys, these are things that I think these, if you look at this stuff looks like it's all by design to me. I mean, we've got every bit of our body being attacked through our food, through our water. I talked about genetically modified foods. You know, Monsanto is the name behind this, guys. If you're from a generation that's a little bit older than myself, if you want to play the guessing game on how old I am, guys, Monsanto was the same corporation. This is one of those things where I want to see if you can put 2 and 2 together, where I was telling you this is simple stuff. If you look back, you should be able to, we should have figured this out, guys. I mean, come on. We're all eating this stuff in this country. Monsanto, that's the same company over there, Vietnam, Agent Orange, Monsanto, ring a bell, ding, ding, ding. You see that bell up there? Come on, guys. Where is your spirit? Where's your liberty? Our founding fathers would be rolling over in their graves right now knowing what kind of lay-down sheep we have in this country that don't do anything to help ourselves out or to help us. What a laughing stock we must be to other countries going, look, those are the only people eating it. Look, they're the only ones who have those. I'm not saying we're the only ones who have the problems, but guys, let me give you a little example again. You know, you talk to somebody from outside of this country and you say, yeah, oh, there was this, let me tell you, there was this terrible story, this young girl, she had this cancer. They look at you like you're nuts. Or cancer? I thought that was something you got when you were 60, 70, 80 years old, you know. What is kids doing with cancer? Wake up, guys. Did anybody ever tell you, hey, look, if you're young and you haven't been told, I'm here to tell you, because I was told, and I know most of us were told this, but I want to tell everybody that hasn't been told. You are what you eat. I mean, come on, guys. We've all been told that. Did we just all forget that all of a sudden? We just shove down whatever we can. I know these day and age, we're all on the go. We're all trying to pay our house payments, our rent, our car payments, our loan sharks if you're a gambler, whatever the case may be. You know, you gotta get on the go. You're just gonna shove down something that you got, Twinkie or whatever you can, stuff in your mouth. Hey, it doesn't even matter again, guys. Remember, if you try to eat healthy, I made a video prior that talked about the genetically modified foods all being sprayed with fluoride. You know, you can't get away. You try to eat vegetables. You try to eat healthy. How about the milk? All this stuff that's going on with the milk. We're getting attacked from every single direction, folks. Genetically modified foods are something that we need to be aware of. And before this gets to where, we're Seattle and we don't have the chance, or we have the chance to pass this and we don't, this is a use or lose kind of deal. People need to understand, we need to start asserting our rights. The reason why our founding fathers were so rugged and so knowledgeable and so successful with being patriots and Americans, and why people liked this country and wanted to come and respected this country, is because they were knowledgeable in the laws, okay? I know they've made 1 million laws these days, guys. How do you keep up with all the city codes and ordinances and every other law that they want to change, codes and tax codes? I mean, it's a lot to keep up on, but if it's going to affect your daily life, I think you might want to keep up on it, I'm sure we all break laws every single day. They've got so many laws out there now, it's hard not to. So you know what? I think it's time we all should just stick our neck out there, This country wasn't founded on a bunch of, weak-hearted guys and men and women that didn't care and weren't passionate. If you're not passionate, maybe we don't, maybe this whole United States of America thing is gone, but it is what it is, and we need to make the best of it at this point. But if we're ever going to survive, guys, you think about this. This is another point that needs to be brought up about genetically modified foods. There's a term, genetically modified, what that does is that manipulates that seed and changes it. So let's say, for example, you went to one of the big box stores, or you went to one of these local places and you picked up some of the seeds that were genetically modified, okay, and you planted those seeds. Next year, if you yielded fruit off those seeds and you kept those seeds so that you'd have seeds for next winter, or next summer to plant those seeds, well, those seeds wouldn't bear any kind of plant. If it did, the fruit, it wouldn't even bear fruit if it grew a plant. So that's just kind of cutting it off, the food completely off. Guys, think about this. Genetically modifying food so it won't grow anymore. Well, that means there's no more food for us. If we have a hard winter or something like that, we didn't store some seeds. Look, right now I want to tell you, you can go out to your stores and you can turn your seed packets around. Go look at, check your big box stores. Heck, the other day I was at one of these dollar type stores and I found some seeds in theirs. You need to look for heirloom seeds that have been open pollinated, non-genetically modified seeds. That means those seeds haven't been messed with, okay? And those seeds will grow seeds next year, okay? Well, they will bear fruit, and those fruit, you could rear the seeds from those plants or that fruit or those vegetables that you got, and then you can take and plant those the next year and continue the cycle and continue the circle of life, so to speak, right? I mean, this makes sense, right? I mean, come on, how did we not figure this stuff out, And again, the health effects, it's this stuff is just toxic. It's again, there's a reason why every other country in the whole world says we will not eat your genetically modified crap. We don't want it. It's terrible. Look, there's been studies done. Get on the internet. Do your homework. Quit eating this stuff, guys. There's a way to win this war. And I've said this before, and I'm going to put this statement out there so it can be said, it can be documented. The true way that we can win this war, the war for our mind and the war on our body, is to make sure that we as human beings, that we're smart enough, that we eat healthy enough to make sure that us parents, even if you're not a parent, that you continue on. But us parents, I'm kind of talking to the parents right now too, a little more so. We need to make sure that we're healthy enough and to see that our children, that means we got to be eating healthy food, and we got to be giving our kids healthy food to make sure that they can bear children that are healthy. And God willing, that we're there to see that happen. That is the success, folks, no matter what. That's what the enemy right now isn't thinking about. That's why I think some of us are a little bit smarter than the enemy. We got it a little bit further out because we're thinking, well, that's how they think, folks. Some of these folks, again, have been thinking about doing this and destroying these food and crops and genetically modifying these things, maybe that's what we need to do, to catch a criminal. Maybe a cop, if he thought a little more like a criminal, it might be a little better at catching that criminal, right? Okay, same analogy. Maybe we need to get in their brains for a minute and think about, well, that's what I'm doing here with you. I'm telling you, listen to me. We need to make sure we're healthy enough, feeding our bodies as our parents, as our species, to make sure that these children that we bear, that we feed them healthy food so that they can bear healthy children, and that we're around to see that. Guys, that is the success, okay? We can beat this, but we can't intake this genetically modified food. We've got to find other ways. You've got to find other ways to do it. Support your local stores. Go to farmers markets. Organic foods, a little less regulation, but hey, at least it's not genetically modified. Hopefully they're not getting genetically modified seeds. It's getting really hard. That's why I'm telling you right now, look, if you don't think this is serious, why has there been seed vaults built? Okay, they're building seed vaults. There's been a seed vault that's been built. It's way north. I don't want to give the exact location because I don't know exactly where it's at. You can find plenty of information about it on YouTube. Okay, they're storing all these seeds, okay? These original seeds, guys. They don't want the genetically modified seeds. Look, these seeds, you want these seeds, guys. You don't want these genetically modified seeds. You want to know why you don't want the genetically modified seeds? Because those seeds, they just manipulated. They're just starting to change those. The seeds that are original seeds from this earth have withstanded thousands of years of weather. This isn't our first, if we slip into an ice age because our sun isn't shooting out sunspots and all the other stuff that's going on, this isn't our first ice age we've been in, okay? The sun, we've experienced droughts before. We've experienced extreme weather, okay? And that extreme weather is something that these seeds have been able to survive and thrive and live through. Now, whether it was somebody stored some seeds away for the winter and was smart, don't let anybody tell you not to prepare, okay? These seeds have survived, so we don't want their crap, and there's a reason why that these folks that have these laboratories or, seed vaults, okay, that are storing all these seeds, want these seeds. They've gone to great lengths, okay, and you can do some more homework on the internet. You'll find out what I'm talking about, that they want these original seeds because they know what I just told you. That's why they don't want you to have the original seeds. They want you to go to Walmart, to big box chains, and buy those genetically modified seeds so that every year you have to go back and buy more seeds from them. Kind of sounds like a conspiracy theory. Sounds like a bunch of BS to me is what it sounds like. And then it's not good for you. It's not healthy for you. Unless you like having big cancer tumors growing out the side of your nut or growing out the back. You want to look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I mean, that's not how I want to look. That's not how I want my future generations to look. That's not what this country was about. This country was based on, supposedly we came here and we traded with the Indians and let's not go into that, guys. But anyways, genetically modified foods, you need to do some homework on this stuff. You need to quit eating this stuff. You need to find a way to flip these labels over. The people kind of look at you kind of weird, when you flip that label over in the store, like, what's wrong with this guy? What is he worried about? But you're probably that same guy, even though there's a helmet law or no helmet law, that you don't wear a helmet. I mean, come on, how much sense does that really make? You only get so many chances, So I don't think if you're going to go down on that bike that you're going to live. I think if you put that food down, it's the same thing. It's just an accident waiting to happen. So, again, this video, American Ever After, I want you to wake up, America. Wake up. Again, we're the only country eating this crap. Does that make any sense to you? America Ever After.